I'm Campbell Hatton and I'm a fighter from Manchester. My dad's Ricky Hatton.
He looks like me, he talks like me, fights like me.
If you loved Ricky, you're going to love Campbell.
Manchester will always love the Hatton name.
The sort of weight what the name carries is massive.
The pressure's going to be on because who are they going to be comparing him to? Ricky Hatton.
Boxing's all I think about. My uncle's Matthew Hatton.
Do it again.
It's quite an addictive sport. My dad's my manager. My uncle's my trainer. It's more than just a hobby. It takes over your life. Very strong, very aggressive, got a lot of heart.
Like being born again.
Boxing's a family trait.
Good times are back.
People are going to really warm to his style and personality. I thought we'd seen the last of Blue Moon, but I think he'll be back.
Campbell the Hurricane Hatton.
Go on, big Gaz.
It's what every kid in a gym dreams of, innit? Having the big nights and headlining shows. And I want that for myself, especially seeing how my dad and Matthew did it in their careers.
Ever since he was born, so I've seen him when he was a little baby, and then the next time I actually saw him was in the gym with Ricky. Ray Hatton had hold of him and he was hitting a speedball.
I've always loved being in the gym, like watching my dad and Matthew train. Like even before I wanted to box myself, I always liked the buzz of being in a boxing gym. A lot of people think just because who my dad is, like, I've had a mad privileged upbringing, but like, I had a pretty normal upbringing, really. Like, this is my old street. Grew up with my mum, not being spoilt or anything like that. We weren't like skint or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but like, we weren't made of money either. So the hunger's still there, just like any other fighter. Like, this was my house. A lot of happy memories on here.
We thought when Richard and Matthew had finished, we thought that was it, then we could relax. But now Campbell started, so I can't say the fun starts again. It probably will be fun, but not at first.
Must have been about 9 on there.
9, yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
Look at Matthew pounding that ball on his little tum-tum. Wow.
And they say, was it in the blood?
God and Benny.
Have a fabulous six-pack now.
Campbell's never really been encouraged to do the boxing. He's obviously always been around it, but he was never really encouraged.
We didn't think that he would want to make a career out of it, but then again, I think it's in the genes.
Right, it's a red 10. Right, get your hands down now.
When Richard was boxing, Campbell a lot of times had his nappy changed at on the apron of the ring while his dad was sparring.
Ricky Hatton without boxing wouldn't be anything. It's the sport I love. But when a little Campbell Hatton started getting into the boxing, it starts again.
This is Campbell in the gym when he's probably about 10, 11 at this age now. It was a little bit uncanny seeing a lot of the foot movement when his dad was fighting Ricky. Some of his best attributes was his footwork.
Because I've been around it from such a young age made me want to give it a go myself.
Time. OK, Campbell, into the ring.
I was doing more and more just keeping fit, really. Nothing like serious on becoming a boxer or anything, but that's where I started finding a bit of a love for it.
Let's reverse it now. Let's go straight.
So then I tried convincing my mum to let me go down to the local gym, which she weren't having any of at the time, and then my dad had his comeback fight, so I was getting really interested then, like, because I'd watched him training, and she just saw how much I wanted to do it then. She told me I could, so we went down to the local gym in Hyde and then just took off from there.
I feel sorry for his mum, though. I sympathise with Claire.
Yeah, she's got that to come, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for a mum.
People used to say to us, oh, with all the fights and you're watching Matthew and you're watching Richard, does it get easier? No. It never gets easier, because it's your son in there.
1, 2, left up, round. Good. Do it again.
After watching a few of my fights, he started getting into boxing in general. He started watching other Manchester fighters, you know, like Jamie Moore and Anthony Crolla. He was getting more and more into his training. He was sticking more and more videos on to study and watch different fights.
Once the sun says this fire's burning too strong, it's something I have to do for myself, then that's when you've got to let them go. You've got to let them spread their wings and follow their dreams.
He had a few fights early on, which he lost. I think Campbell lost his first 3 or 4 fights. Then he drifted away from the sport, then he come back to it.
I've known Campbell for a number of years now, and I think the thing that impressed me most about Campbell, he started off boxing, and he had a tough start to his amateur career, and he went away, and then he come back, and he done it off his own back.
At that stage, I could see he really wanted it. And I said, Campbell, if you really want to do it, I'll give you my time, I'll give you as much time as you want. Ricky then started doing more with him because we could see he really wanted it for himself. Whether we helped him or not, he was going to do it.
Me and Matthew get on really well. Very similar, we've got that same sense of humour. As my uncle, he's like a mate as well.
So every time I step to you, you've got to spot it and take that big step back. Yep. Jack.
And we take that into the gym, like we work hard, like you won't find anyone working harder than us, but we do always have a good laugh in the gym. Ready to get in there now?
Yeah.
Fight on car park if I need to.
The reason why I went into boxing is so he didn't have to. But when he started developing and started getting a love for it, and then the last few years he's put his foot down, and I thought, you know, we might be able to go pro with Campbell here.
The relationship between Ricky managing Campbell and Matthew training is a perfect one because Ricky's there, a set of eyes outside the ring, and Matthew's there in the corner, so I think it'll work well.
Campbell probably will get opportunities because of who he is, but he will not be in a position to fulfil them if he's not put the hard work in, and that's what he's doing.
What he has is potential, the genes, to go on and become a great fighter.
When I'm running, I'm go for a bit of oasis, stone roses, bit of grime as well, all sorts.
I think when you start boxing, I think most people say you either love it or you hate it. You know, you do boxing, oh, this is good, and then you get smacked on the nose, you think, that's not for me. Well, he got smacked on the nose and he loved it.
I need to work harder than everyone else. That bit more expectation, that bit more pressure.
Any normal kid coming out of Manchester with his kind of amateur experience, there is no pressure to succeed. But he's Campbell Hatton, he's Ricky Hatton's boy. And the whole of Manchester wants to see him do well. The pressure's immense.
Whoever fights me, because of my name, do want to make a name for himself, so I'm always fighting the best version of my opponent.
If Campbell didn't have the ability, he didn't have the right mentality, he didn't have the brain, the intelligence, the fitness, the desire, he wouldn't be where he is now because I wouldn't let him do it.
Not cutting any corners, getting ready for the fight night. Want to look my best every time I get in the ring, and I'm working hard for my little girl.
He's become a young dad.
What's this? Little boy's car.
It was a surprise at the time, and he surprised us all immensely because he's a fabulous dad, you know, and we're
Very
proud of
hands-on,
him.
yeah.
We're proud of him.
Very hands-on. Now he's got his little girl, that will spur him on.
I'm not just fighting for myself now, I'm fighting for Lila's future as well. So it isn't that extra kick up the arse. Whose is it? It just makes it all worth it. What's your favourite car?
Boxing is a job all year round, you know, staying in shape, especially when you're a young prospect, making sacrifices. It doesn't get much tougher.
I've done so many things in my life correct in the boxing ring, and I've done so many things wrong in my life outside the boxing ring, so there's no person better to give him advice or give him a rollicking if he needs it.
Campbell's got a great work ethic. I wish he had a gym full of fighters like him. He's very, very hungry.
He said to me on many occasions, you know, Dad, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm going to be better than you.
Manchester will always love the Hatton name. Any young Manchester fighter couldn't help but be inspired by him.
He changed me. He was the one who made me started watching boxing.
You just wanted to be like him.
To eclipse Ricky, you're going to have to do something really special.
lot of people saw him as your everyday person who they could go to the pub with and have a pint, and I think that was a lot of his appeal, along with the fact that he could fight like hell and he was always exciting. Amazing, electric atmosphere. It's hard to describe.
What he's done for the city has been incredible. Every time he was fighting, it's like Manchester stopped. He had the whole Manchester behind him.
Look at that, City of Manchester Stadium, 55,000, incredible that. That's got to be the dream, that, son.
Yeah, definitely to box there would be a dream come true.
Get Manchester behind you and hopefully the whole nation will follow you.
He sort of transformed the game. That cult following what he had and the sort of weight what the name carries is massive. So Campbell's got big shoes to fill.
All my memories from my dad's career are looking back now, really, as I got older.
It's always about putting a show on for the crowd. I hope you don't come out looking that fat, but...
Wouldn't need the suit now, would you? Nolan Liam there as well.
You wouldn't think, you know, the boy from the council estate would have Nolan Liam carrying the belt in, Tom Jones singing the national anthem. Don't think for 1 minute that you're not capable of achieving that. David Beckham in the crowd. A lot of people say I look like David Beckham, sometimes, but not.
Must clean that mirror.
Yeah.
My mum used to stay at my Nana Sue's when everyone was at the fights, and then she'd wake me up in the morning and tell me how he'd got on.
I think it's dead important to get off to a good start. You've got to be patient. These are things you learn as you go ahead.
I think one thing we're definitely going to see again is that left hook to the body. That's definitely in the genes.
There's times when I was a kid, I was watching Campbell's dad, just, you know, praying one day I'll get a night like that. It would be a fairy tale, you know, all those years later. Campbell packing out the Manchester Arena would be something else, something special. I don't even mind if he comes out to the same theme music that his dad did.
Really exciting times for Manchester, because as crowds return, you're going to see them fill up that place for this kid as he goes through his career. And one thing that he should know is that that whole city is behind Campbell Hatton.
Manchester's always been a big boxing city when you look at some of the names from over the years. Jamie Moore's probably my favourite fighter. I've known him since I was a kid, and when I started getting into boxing, the first thing I did was look at the people who I know. Anthony Crolla's another inspiration. He's shown just what you can do with hard work, and some of the nights he's put on at the Manchester Arena as well. Crolla was the first fighter I went to watch live. The atmosphere is electric, and it's just an inspiration of where I want to get to as well.
Notice where I leave my head.
Yeah, off to the side.
You know, you lie there, leave the head there, punch there, and then you roll over, planting it on the other side, like that bank bang. To do it with such an educated combination, like I did do against someone like Castillo, who's a body puncher anyway, I'd probably say that was one of my best knockouts. There was a few fights where, you know, I didn't look so good in because the people had cottoned on to me left up to the elbow, so they were getting their elbow in and got me elbowed in, so I had to go back to the gym and start working on the right side. It's going to get a lot harder for you, but I don't think you'll be found wanting.
Campbell's probably going to be the epitome of all those fighters what have come through after Ricky Hatton, and he's genetically built the same as Ricky. So everyone's hoping that we've got a sort of reincarnation of Ricky, and they might be right.
One thing I can say already is that without a doubt people will be coming away from my fights being entertained.
This is what I want to see you with, son. That's the one I wanted to win, the British title.
Lonsdale belt.
Lord Lonsdale belt. I wanted one of them on me trophy cabinet.
They can be just as hard to get hold of as the world title.
Kostas, who was universally recognised undisputed champion, because he was undisputed champion, he didn't lose them all in the ring. He was number 2 pound for pound as well, so I beat Kostas, my greatest ever win. Was telling me teachers at school from being 15 years of age, I'm going to be a professional boxer, I'm going to be a champion. I never used to do any work at school. They said I was never in any trouble, but I just used to do now because I was that convinced I was going to be a boxer and a world champion. And that's the attitude. Just self-belief and confidence, and that's what you've got to have. You've got to be humble, but you've got to be confident. People said to me, oh, how do you think you're going to go? Oh, I said, I want to be the best in the world. I went, oh, you want to be a world champion, Ricky? I went, no, the best in the weight in the world. Don't settle for down there, because you might get there. Settle for there. Reach for the sky. You look up and you'll see the champions, you know, today, like the Mayweathers or the Golovkins and the Canelos and the people like that, and you think, oh, wow, they're great, but that's where you want to be. I used to watch Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Mike Tyson, all them fighters winning all these belts, but I got them in the end. You go and get them, because you can do it.
With my work ethic and the team I've got around me, I don't see any reason why this would be out of reach for me.
He hasn't got the level of amateur experience or success what his dad had, but I see a lot of similarities.
When you're young, you can just be fearless.
I want to see if he can do it, you know, I want to see if he's got the goods, if he's got the minerals. I think it's going to be really interesting. I think we might just have something here.
Yeah, it just says here, a little spar I had when I was about 15, but it might have even been a bit younger. Me and my dad sparring, the only person who's ever dropped me. Didn't hold back because I was his 14-year-old lad, did it? Seen my dad and Matthew in the paper over their careers, and now it's me, it's crazy. It's getting real now. It's only round the corner. Just got to back it up when I get in there.
With him signing with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, they'll have that benefit of being able to bring him along slower. You can see a lot of similarities with Conor Benn. He's got big shoes to fill. He's, you know, a lot of media attention. He's handled it really well, but they've really progressed him slowly on purpose so he can learn his trade.
You ain't got to prove nothing to no one but yourself. And, you know, once he comes to terms with that, it will make his early career and the start of his career so much easier, because it was something that I had to deal with.
Well, I'm slightly taller, according to the Daily Mail.
You won't be when I give you a left.
I've been myself. I stay true to the game. I've given 100% to the game. That's what Campbell needs to do, essentially. He needs to work hard.
There's a lot of times in sport where, you know, father-son relationships don't work, but I don't think those two could be any closer.
Everyone who fights a Hatton tries that little bit harder. You're going to see the best out of every single person you get into the ring with. It's going to be like their world title fight.
Matthew being involved as well. I think it's just a brilliant story, and you can't help but want for it to succeed and go to the very top.
He's come on loads over the last couple of years. I have really seen improvements with him, watching him in the amateurs. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it progresses.
I always knew you'd come on quickly, but you've really taken to professional boxing.
There's a lot of eyes on me, obviously, who my dad was. There's a lot of expectation and a lot of interest, but I've never struggled with the pressure, really. It's something that I thrive on.
He's very old-headed as well. I think that stands him in good stead. Some young fighters might be a bit sort of intimidated by the lights, the press, cameras. He's already halfway there.
Yeah, I'm going to get nervous. Yeah, I'm going to be a nervous rep, but, you know, I've got a job to do. Everything's got to be positive from Dad and Uncle Matt.
Myself and Ray and his dad and Matthew and especially his mum, we're all quite nervous. And I think the coolest person amidst it all is Campbell.
Remember my professional debut, it's a really big day for you, but listen to Uncle Matt in the corner. Go out there and enjoy it. It's a day that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life.
The best thing he can do is listen to his coaches, listen to his manager, relax and enjoy it all, because before he knows it, it'll be done.
He's got a brilliant team behind him now. He's in a great, great position, and ultimately he's going to have to show it with them, and I think he will.
You'd almost want Campbell Hatton really to just professional debut somewhere quiet. You can't do that here. You know, everyone in the world's going to be watching you. Campbell has a level head on his shoulder. I believe he's going to handle this pressure.
Ease into the fight, get the feel of it the first few rounds, make him miss with a few. Don't go too full at a gate, because you've not only got that attacking, aggressive style, you've also got the ability to show everybody out there what you've got, the full repertoire. There's so many boxes that Campbell has to tick for a young age. Prove your chin, you've got to prove your stamina, you've got to prove your heart, you've got to prove the want for the game.
There'll be a lot of people thinking, like, is he just hype? By the time we get in the ring, I'll be more than ready to show people that it's not hype. We're only at the start, but it feels like it's been like a long time coming. Like, we've always said I'd be a better professional than I was in the amateurs, and I just can't wait to get in there and I'll show everyone what I can do.
Made for this sport.
I dreamed of making my debut in front of a packed Manchester arena, so it's a shame that that's not going to be the case in these times. Regardless, I'm just going to go there and do the job at hand. With them not being like the screaming fans and the atmosphere like that, I think in some way it might help because of the composure.
There's no one in the gym when you spar, is there?
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
But you still want to impress in your spar. The crowds will come, just give it time.
People will go, oh, we'll have it easy because of who his father is. No, he has it harder than almost any other fighter out there because people are gunning for him.
Be yourself. Be who you are, because if you're not, eventually you'll get found out anyway.
You only get one professional debut. Don't be Ricky Hatton's son that night. Be the best Campbell Hatton you can be.
Absorb it all. Don't listen to the haters. Enjoy the journey. Make sure you capture every second up here. It gets harder. Prepare yourself for that, because it does get harder, a lot harder.
Ricky used to fight with such energy, such tenacity, such aggression. Campbell is a carbon copy.
He is me. And I think the minute, you know, people see what personality is and what type of lad is, I'd like to think other fans that love me will go, whoa.
He needs to carve out his own career. If he really wants to make a name for himself, he just do that by winning.
I think you can eclipse what I achieved. You know, I was a European champion, and I really do believe you can emulate your dad and become a world champion.
Eventually, it won't be, there's only one Ricky Hatton, it'll be one Campbell Hatton, and he'll make his own name without his dad.
Once that bell goes, it's just you, it's for real. The small gloves are on, no head guard. It's a feeling that I think so many fighters miss once they have to pack it in. That's your moment on Broadway.
Can't wait to show the world what I can do. Blue moon's rising again.